Namaskar. A warm welcome to World News and Indian Perspective on All India Radio. This is Abhineet Shukla and with me is Saira Mujtaba, bringing glimpses of the major developments of the day from across the globe. Over the next half an hour, we shall bring you the latest from the world of politics, economy, sports, entertainment and more. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi speaks to UK's Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, congratulates him on assuming charge, says will work together to further strengthen the comprehensive strategic partnership. Government aims to implement Parliament's resolution to reclaim remaining parts of Kashmir such as Gilgit and Baltistan in POK, says Defence Minister Rajnath Singh. United Nations Security Council Counter-Terrorism Committee to hold special meeting in Mumbai on Friday. Chinese President Xi Jinping says ready to work with US, both the countries must find ways to get along. Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh addresses 9th edition of India-Sweden Innovation Day, says Indo-Swedish companies should support startups from both the sides. Ministry of Health and Family Welfare decides to depute a high-level team to Kerala for taking stock of avian influenza outbreak. In a historic move, Board of Control for Cricket in India announces equal match fee for both men and women cricket players. And in ICC Men's T20 World Cup, India registers an emphatic 56-run win against the Netherlands, and in the second T20 World Cup clash, Zimbabwe beat Pakistan by 1 run in a thriller in Perth. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has spoken to newly appointed Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Rishi Sunak. In a tweet today, Mr. Modi said he has congratulated Mr. Sunak on assuming charge as the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Mr. Modi said they will work together to further strengthen the comprehensive strategic partnership between the two nations. Both the leaders also agreed on the importance of early conclusion of a comprehensive and balanced free trade agreement. Mr. Sunak thanked the Prime Minister Narendra Modi for his kind words. In a tweet he said, the United Kingdom and India share so much. He said he is excited about what two great democracies can achieve as both the nations will deepen their security, defense and economic partnership in the months and years ahead. Defence Minister of India Rajnath Singh has said the centre's aim is to implement the resolution unanimously passed in the Indian Parliament on the 22nd of February 1994 to reclaim the remaining parts of Kashmir such as Gilgit and Baltistan in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir or POK. He said this while attending the Shauryat Divas celebrations in Srinagar to commemorate the air-landed operations of Indian Army at Budgam Airport in 1947, which ensured the first civil-military victory of independent India.
हमारी यात्रा तो तब पूरी होगी जब हम भारतीय संसद में सर्वसम्मत पारित हुए प्रस्ताव को अमल में लाएंगे और उसके अनुरूप हम अपने बाकी बचे हिस्से जैसे गिलगित और बाल्टिस्तान तक पहुंचे.
The Defence Minister pointed out that some areas illegally occupied by Pakistan are still devoid of that progress, and Pakistan is fully responsible for inhuman incidents against innocent Indians in POK.
पाकिस्तान भी पाक ऑक्युपाइड कश्मीर में आज जो अत्याचार का बबूल बो रहा है, आने वाले समय में उसके सामने कांटे की ही फसल तैयार मिलेगी, यह मैं बताना चाहता हूं और अपने कृत्यों से वह आम के फल की अपेक्षा कभी नहीं कर सकता है. और मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि आने वाले समय में पाकिस्तान को उसके जुल्मों का परिणाम जरूर मिलेगा, यह मैं विश्वास के साथ कह सकता हूं.
The Defence Minister said, in the times to come, Pakistan will face the result of its atrocities. Mr. Rajnath Singh added that post-independence, the people of Jammu and Kashmir were deprived of development and tranquility for decades until the government led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi came to the helm and abrogated Article 370, bringing a new era of peace and progress in the Union Territory. Mr. Singh asserted that any violation of fundamental rights of a human being is not acceptable in an ideal society. This has been our commitment. The doors of development and peace have now been opened in Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, with the people of the two UTs reaping the benefits of the welfare schemes of the Government of India. There is unity among the people who are moving forward hand in hand. The Defence Minister stated that this Shauryat Divas gives the nation an opportunity to remember the valour of the brave hearts and inspires the people to take the country to greater heights with unity and dedication. Army Chief General Manoj Pandey, who was present on the occasion, conveyed his best wishes to all ranks, veterans, Veer Naris and families of the infantry. Talking exclusively to All India Radio, Director General Infantry Lieutenant General A.K. Samantara said the infantry is always combat ready to deal with any situation.
इन्फेंट्री दिवस के अवसर पर मैं सारे इन्फेंट्री परिवार को अपनी हार्दिक बधाई देता हूं। इन्फेंट्री ने हर हालत में अपनी ड्यूटी को निभाया है, जो मेजर सोमनाथ शर्मा परमवीर चक्र के संदेश में भी अंकित है। उन्होंने कहा था, दुश्मन हमसे केवल 50 गज की दूरी पर है, हम हर तरफ से घिर चुके हैं, मैं 1 इंच भी पीछे नहीं हट, आखिरी सैनिक और आखिरी गोली तक लड़ता रहूंगा। भविष्य के खतरों को सामने रखते हुए इन्फेंट्री ने अपने आप को मजबूत किया है और इस काबिल बनाया है कि वो युद्ध के हर स्थल में दुश्मन को भरपूर सामना कर सके।
On the 27th of October 1947, Indian Army troops were transported by the Indian Air Force to Budgam Airport to evict Pakistan forces from Jammu and Kashmir a day after the instrument of accession was signed between Maharaja Hari Singh and Republic of India. The day is celebrated as Infantry Day.
The special meeting of the United Nations Security Council Counter-Terrorism Committee will begin in Mumbai on Friday. The meeting will continue in New Delhi the day after. The theme of the meeting will be countering the use of new and emerging technologies for terrorist purposes. The meeting will provide opportunities to discuss existing and evolving threats, the deployment of new and emerging technology to counter those threats, continuing challenges and good practices, as well as a range of related human rights and gender considerations. Briefing media in New Delhi on Wednesday, India's permanent representative to the UN and Counter-Terrorism Committee Chair, Ruchira Kamboj, said, terrorism remains one of the most serious threats to international peace and security. She said over the past 2 decades, member states have made tangible progress in countering terrorism efforts. She, however, said the terrorist threat persists despite their best efforts. She added that the meeting is mindful of addressing this issue while also recognizing the potential of technologies to increase the effectiveness of counter-terrorism efforts. Union Minister for Health and Family Welfare, Dr. Mansukh Mandavia, has said that the central government under Prime Minister Modi's leadership attached topmost importance to the health sector. He stressed that India is committed to protecting global health and is ensuring to leave behind a better and a healthier planet for the coming generations. This was stated by Dr. Mandavia while addressing the second G20 Health Ministers meeting in Bali, Indonesia on Thursday. The purpose of the meeting was to discuss the progress and way forward on priorities in the healthcare sector. Speaking on the occasion, Dr. Mandavia stated that India is committed to contributing immensely to creating a future-ready and resilient global healthcare ecosystem. He also elaborated on building global health resilience, wherein the proposal of a financial intermediary fund was discussed. Mr. Mandavia highlighted the need to acknowledge existing fault lines in the global health architecture and the importance of building an inclusive, agile and responsive framework for health emergency management. The health minister encouraged all G20 members to contribute their public keys to the proposed Global Federated Public Trust Directory for ensuring seamless worldwide mobility of people and goods.
Union Minister of Environment, Forest and Climate Change Bhupendra Yadav has said that India has been undertaking numerous concrete climate actions under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, both domestically and globally. He stressed that India always endeavours to be part of the solution and not part of the problem. Mr. Yadav stated this in a meeting with the Committee on Environment of German Federal Parliament in New Delhi. Mr. Yadav stressed that India achieved the targets mentioned in the first NDC on renewable energy and energy intensity before time. He also elaborated about India's global commitment for addressing climate change by spearheading global initiatives like ISA, CDRI and LEAD IT. He emphasized the need for mindful consumption and circular economy, saying that India is promoting circular economy from 3 aspects: legal, capacity and market economy. Our correspondent reports that in the meeting the committee discussed global environmental, climate change and other related challenges and how Germany and India can work together to find sustainable solutions to these challenges. The committee also deliberated issues related to sustainable lifestyle, circular economy, e-wastes, conservation of water bodies, drinking water, problem of fertilizers, urban migration, sectoral climate action plans and achievements. The German delegation appreciated the concrete environment and climate actions taken by India despite the huge size and population. The delegation expressed Germany's full support for India's G20 presidency. Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh, Minister addresses the 9th edition of the India-Sweden Innovation Day, says Indo-Swedish companies must support startups from both the sides. Collaborative research and startups ecosystem between India and Sweden will lead to a shared future by harnessing the power of science, technology and innovation for social good. Union Minister addressed the 9th India-Sweden Innovation Day through virtual mode and said that companies in both nations must support startups from both the sides and undertake collaborative research and human resource exchange. He noted that Swedish Energy Agency earmarked an additional 25 million over 4 years for research and innovation collaboration with India. Referring to the Indo-Swedish joint projects having significant potential to improve public health, nursing or care in India and Sweden, Dr. Jitendra Singh informed that in 2020, the Department of Biotechnology, Government of India and Vinnova, Government of Sweden announced grant funding to implement projects aimed at producing new solutions which, aided by artificial intelligence or AI, have significant potential to improve public health. In today's Hotspot section, we bring you a news commentary on digital transactions buoyant in New India.
India is celebrating 75 years of her independence as Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav and has entered into the Amrit Kal. That is the 25-year-long lead-up to India at 100 years of independence. Finance Minister Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman, while presenting the general budget for the year 2022-23, said that digital economy is the way forward. India emerging as a big digital economy is one of the major success stories of the last few years. It has transformed her traditional economy to a digital economy. The concept of digital economy has been on the rise since the Digital India campaign was started by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in 2015. The idea was to create a cashless transaction ecosystem in the country to achieve the goal for transparent and accountable business activity by 2030. Currently, a major share of trade is done through digital means, and the estimated value of total goods to be sold in the 2021-2022 financial year by digital means is around $55 billion. The growth is expected to keep this pace, and the goods traded through digital economy are expected to reach the mark of $350 billion by 2030, less than 10 years from now. It is expected that India will be third largest digital economy after USA and UK, as estimates suggest that the volume of digital economy may rise up to $800 billion. The COVID pandemic from the year 2020 till now has given an opportunity for further consolidation of digital transactions. The pandemic also led to the inflection of e-commerce in smaller cities, which is a very progressive development for India. According to a study, nearly 88% of online shoppers will be from Tier 2 cities in the coming 10 years. The level of online transactions is set to rise above $7 billion in a year. Many startups are providing e-kiranas, grocery and cashless payments in kirana shops, which will boost up digital economy. It is the single most important factor which leads to innovation, growth and competitiveness in the Indian economy. The new prevailing digital trends like cloud computing, mobile web services and growing social media is rapidly changing business styles. To cope with this trend, the concept of digitalization becomes a necessity. Digital economy has the power to change the lives of millions of people in India. In next 3 years, India will add more than 300 million new mobile subscribers. By 2025, India will be the largest mobile market in the world. For this, India is developing a mobile-first digital culture with smartphones fueling a boom in e-commerce. With a rapidly growing middle class and a young tech-savvy population, online personal services are about to take a quantum jump. Now many foreign companies are looking at increasing their investments in India's digital economy. Keeping this perspective, the Indian budget for the year 2022-23 spells out a vision for digital-based economy to achieve the goals during Amrit Kal. One of the objectives is to promote digital economy and fintech, technology-enabled development and other similar plans. India is planning to involve the farmers' community for digital and high-tech services with involvement of both public and private sectors. Finance Minister has announced for the first time digital ecosystem for skilling and livelihood. The DESH Stack e-portal will be launched. This aims to empower citizens to skill, reskill or upskill through online training. It will provide API-based trusted skill credentials, payments and discovery layers to find relevant jobs and entrepreneurial opportunities. API stands for Application Programming Interface. The Indian government is continuously encouraging to ensure that the benefits of digital banking reach every nook and corner of the country in a consumer-friendly manner. Minister of State for Finance Bhagwat Karad wrote recently in a signed article. The fintech adoption rate in India currently stands at 87%, well above the global average of 64%, thereby making India one of the largest digital markets. This accomplishment is not only a result of enabling policy and regulatory regime, but largely people's willingness to adapt to change. It's clear sooner or later India is heading towards a cashless society, as the government is encouraging this change for a modern society. For this, the growth of fintech sector along with fintech startups has made India the third largest startup network in the world. As Prime Minister Modi said, credit for this should go to the youth of this country who played a pivotal role in the digital transformation. Technological exposure of the youth has facilitated newer ideas for financial digital literacy. Financially empowered youth not only change the fortunes of their family and society, but create the environment for adoption of digital economy.
This is All India Radio giving you the world news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter @AIR News Alerts.
Welcome back. You're listening to World News. Chinese President Xi Jinping said China stands ready to work with the United States to find ways to get along with each other, which is beneficial to both the countries. The world today is neither peaceful nor tranquil, said Xi Jinping in a congratulatory message on Wednesday to the annual event of the National Committee on US-China Relations, Chinese state news agency reported on Thursday, adding that closer communication and cooperation between China and the US, both as major countries, will help bring greater stability and certainty to the world. This is the first such message by President Xi to the US after the 20th Party Congress, where he emerged as the paramount leader of China for the third time, stronger than before, with a hand-picked team of loyalists. President Xi asserted that the world needs China as much as China needs the world. Lieutenant Governor of Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Admiral D.K. Joshi, inducted the second 500 persons capacity passenger vessel, Nalanda, built by the Cochin shipyard into the island's shipping service at a ceremony held at Hadu Wharf in Port Blair on Thursday. The vessel, with state-of-the-art equipment built at international standards, would ply mainly between the group of islands in Andaman and Nicobar. The vessel can carry a cargo of 150 metric tons to the remote islands.
Bangladesh produces 80% of the mobiles sold in the country, said State Minister for ICT of Bangladesh, Zunaid Ahmed Palak. Speaking at an event to announce the holding of Digital World 2022 in December to showcase Bangladesh's achievement in the ICT sector, the minister said that Bangladesh has created over 2 million job opportunities in the ICT sector and earned over $1.5 billion in exports. He said that nearly 2,000 government services are now being provided digitally. State Minister Palak said that the target is to increase employment to 3 million and ICT exports to 5 billion by 2025. The government of Bangladesh will organize the event Digital World 2022 between December 8 to 11 in Dhaka to showcase its achievement in the IT sector to attract foreign investment. The theme of this year's Digital World is Be Innovative and Smart, said an official press release. Iranian security forces have clashed with protesters who had gathered in Mahsa Amini's hometown to mark 40 days since her death. According to media reports, security forces have shot tear gas and opened fire on people in Zindan Square. Security forces were deployed in Sakis and other parts of Kurdistan province yesterday. Protests swept across Iran after Ms. Amini, who was 22, died on 16th of September. She was detained 3 days earlier by the morality police in the capital Tehran and fell into a coma after collapsing at a detention center. There were reports that officers beat her with a baton and banged her head against a vehicle, but police denied that she was mistreated and said she suffered a heart attack.
South Korea's economic growth fell to its lowest in a year in the third quarter. The Bank of Korea estimated that the country's gross domestic product, or GDP, grew by a seasonally adjusted 0.3% in real terms from the previous quarter. It is the slowest growth since the third quarter of 2021. Despite managing positive growth, a breakdown of the figures showed Asia's fourth largest economy was losing momentum quickly in the face of cooling global demand. However, on an annual basis, the economy expanded by 3.1% in the third quarter after a 2.9% gain in the second quarter. The outcome was ahead of expectations for 2.8% growth. The annual Antarctic ozone hole reached an average area of 23.2 million square kilometers between September 7 and October 13, 2022. America's space agency NASA said that the depleted area of the ozone layer over the South Pole was slightly smaller than last year and generally continued the overall shrinking trend of recent years. Over time, steady progress is being made and the hole is getting smaller, said Paul Newman, Chief Scientist for Earth Sciences at NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center in Maryland. He said the elimination of ozone-depleting substances through the Montreal Protocol is shrinking the hole. The ozone layer, the portion of the stratosphere that protects our planet from the sun's ultraviolet rays, thins to form an ozone hole above the South Pole every September.
The United Nations said yesterday that world's current climate pledges are far off track to limit temperature rises to 1.5 degrees Celsius. The UN said it will steer a world already wrecked by increasing floods, heat waves and storms towards catastrophic warming. The United Nations Climate Change Organization said that combined commitments from nearly 200 nations put Earth on track to warm around 2.5 Celsius compared to pre-industrial levels by the century's end. With the planet being already battered by weather extremes after 1.2 degrees Celsius of warming, the UN's climate experts have said that emissions compared to 2010 levels need to fall 45% by 2030 in order to meet the 2015 Paris Climate Deal's more ambitious 1.5 degrees Celsius goal. The International Energy Agency IAEA has said that energy crisis triggered by Russia-Ukraine conflict could transform the global energy landscape for decades and accelerate the transition to renewable energy. In its latest annual World Energy Outlook reports, the IEA said that the energy crisis was causing profound and long-lasting changes that have the potential to hasten the transition to a more sustainable and secure energy system. The IEA Executive Director Fatih Birol in a statement said that energy markets and policies have changed as a result of Russia-Ukraine conflict not only for the time being but for decades to come. He said the energy world is shifting dramatically.
World Day for Audiovisual Heritage, WDAH, is celebrated on 27th of October every year to highlight and promote the importance of recorded images, motion pictures and sounds which give us insight into people's lives, cultures, languages, communities and the global flora and fauna. Such documents are vital as a source of knowledge for humanity and help in preserving cultural and social diversity. Conservation of these documents ensures present and future generations get access to them and helps preserve our collective memories. On 27th of October 1980, the recommendation for the safeguarding and preservation of moving images was adopted in the 21st General Conference of the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, or UNESCO, in Serbia. This adoption occurred as a result of the efforts of the International Federation of Film Archives since the late 1970s. And now a report from the business desk.
Sensex climbed 213 points, 0.36% to finish at 59,757. Nifty also gained 81 points, 0.46% to end at 17,737. At the global stock markets, Asian share indices trade mixed amid a fall in the US share markets. South Korea's Kospi climbed 1.7% and Hong Kong's Hang Seng rose 0.7%. Singapore Straits Times was trading 0.2% up. On the other hand, China's Shanghai Composite Index closed 0.6% down and Japan's Nikkei 225 slipped 0.3%. European share markets were down in intraday trade. Global crude oil prices gained more than 0.5%. In intraday trade, Brent crude was trading at $96.30 per barrel. Back home at the Multi-Commodity Exchange, gold futures for December was trading at 50,745 rupees per 10 grams. Silver futures for December was trading at 58,085 rupees per kilogram when reports last came in. In the foreign exchange market, the rupee strengthened by 22 paise against the US dollar. The domestic currency closed at 82 rupees and 50 paise against the American unit. Arjun Chowdhury for World News All India Radio.
In a historic move, the Board of Control for Cricket in India BCCI has announced equal match fee for both men and women cricket players of India. BCCI Secretary Jai Shah announced the landmark decision in a tweet. He said the move was BCCI's first step towards tackling discrimination. The BCCI women cricketers will be paid the same match fee as their male counterparts. As per the new rules, the payment for tests will be 15 lakh rupees, 6 lakh rupees for ODIs and 3 lakh rupees for T20. In ICC Men's T20 World Cup, India registered an emphatic 56-run win against Minos, Netherlands. Chasing a target of 180 runs, the batting lineup of the Netherlands crumbled against the steady bowling attack of India. For India, Arshdeep, Bhuvneshwar, Ashwin and Akshar bagged 2 wickets each and Shami got 1. With this win, India amassed 4 points. Earlier, India won the toss and opted to bat. Skipper Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli and Suryakumar Yadav hit half-centuries for India. In the second encounter, Zimbabwe beat Pakistan by 1 run in a thriller in Perth. An all-round disciplined bowling effort led by Sikandar Raza, who claimed 3 wickets, helped Zimbabwe to stun Pakistan. Chasing a target of 131 runs, Pakistan failed to reach the target against the strong bowling attack of Zimbabwe.
In some more news, the Health and Family Welfare Ministry has decided to depute a high-level team to Kerala to take stock of avian influenza outbreak in the state. The team will investigate the outbreak in detail and submit a report with recommendations. The ministry said a 7-member team comprises of experts from the National Institute of Tuberculosis and Respiratory Diseases, National Centre for Disease Control, National Institute of Epidemiology and All India Institute of Medical Sciences. In hockey, Indian men's team are all set to take on New Zealand in the opening game at the FIH Men's Hockey Pro League 2022-23 at the iconic Kalinga Hockey Stadium on Friday, which is also the venue for the most awaited FIH Odisha Hockey Men's World Cup Bhubaneswar Rourkela 2023. In the second match, India will take on Spain on Sunday. India will play their second tie against New Zealand on November 4 and play Spain on 6th of November. All the matches will start at 7:10 p.m. Indian time. Harmanpreet Singh will captain the side, while experienced midfielder Manpreet Singh, who captained India to a historic bronze medal at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics, will be vice-captain.
A quick look at the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi speaks to UK's Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, congratulates him on assuming charge, says we'll work together to further strengthen the comprehensive strategic partnership. Government aims to implement Parliament's resolution to reclaim remaining parts of Kashmir such as Gilgit and Baltistan in POK, says Defence Minister Rajnath Singh. United Nations Security Council Counter-Terrorism Committee to hold special meeting in Mumbai on Friday. Chinese President Xi Jinping says ready to work with US, both the countries must find ways to get along. Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh addresses 9th edition of India-Sweden Innovation Day, says Indo-Swedish companies should support startups from both sides. Ministry of Health and Family Welfare decides to depute a high-level team to Kerala to take stock of avian influenza outbreak. In a historic move, Board of Control for Cricket in India announces equal match fee for both men and women cricket players. In ICC Men's T20 World Cup, India registers an emphatic 56-run win against the Netherlands, and in the second T20 World Cup clash, Zimbabwe beat Pakistan by 1 run in a thriller in Perth. And now, before we end, let us listen to Mahatma Gandhi's favourite bhajan Vaishnav Jan by artists from Cyprus. And with that, we end this bulletin. We'll be back at the same time tomorrow with the next edition of World News.